Irregular warfare is warfare in which one or more combatants are irregular military rather than regular forces. Guerrilla warfare is a form of irregular warfare, and so is asymmetric warfare. The overuse of the term warfare in contemporary military terminology to describe both the specific type of engagement and the type of forces participating in it can lead to false conclusions. A guerrilla unit that is made of commandos is a regular unit conducting asymmetric warfare, whereas an irregular band of fighters can engage combat in a tactical infantry firefight if well led and well equipped, fighting like a conventional unit. To eschew false assumptions, perhaps it is a better idea not to take insurgency terminology at face value before verifying the status of the or the belligerent parties involved. Irregular warfare favors indirect and asymmetric warfare approaches, though it may employ the full range of military and other capabilities in order to erode the adversary's power, influence, and will. It is inherently a protracted struggle that will test the resolve of a state and its strategic partners. Concepts associated with irregular warfare are older than the term itself. History. Regular versus irregular. The word regular is used in the term regular armed forces, which comes from the Third Geneva Convention of 1949. The International Committee of the Red Cross is a non-governmental organization primarily responsible for, and most closely associated with, the drafting and successful completion of the Third Geneva Convention relative to the treatment of prisoners of war. The ICRC provided commentary saying that regular armed forces satisfy 4 Hague Convention's conditions. In other words, regular forces must satisfy the following criteria: being commanded by a person responsible for his subordinates to a party of conflict, having a fixed distinctive emblem recognizable at a distance, carrying arms openly, conducting operations in accordance with the laws and customs of war. On the other hand, irregular forces is a term in international humanitarian law referring to a category of combatants consisting of individuals forming part of the armed forces of a party to an armed conflict, international or non-international, but not belonging to that party's regular forces and operating in or outside of their own territory even if the territory is under occupation. As such, it is implicit that irregular warfare is warfare where a major party in the conflict is a part of irregular forces. Early use. One of the earliest known uses of the term irregular warfare is in the 1986 English edition of Modern Irregular Warfare in Defense Policy, and as a military phenomenon, by Friedrich August Frey von der Heydte. The original 1972 German edition of the book is titled Der moderne Kleinkrieg als Wehrpolitisches und Militärisches Phänomen. The German word Kleinkrieg is literally translated as small war. The word irregular, used in the title of the English translation of the book, seems to be a reference non-regular armed forces, as per the aforementioned Third Geneva Convention. U.S. use within United States Department of Defense. One of the earliest known uses of the term IW is in a 1996 Central Intelligence Agency document by Jeffrey B. White. Major military doctrine developments related to IW were done between 2004 to 2007 as a result of the September 11 attacks on the United States. A key proponent of IW within the U.S. is Michael G. Vickers, a former paramilitary officer in the CIA. U.S. CIA used the CIA's Special Activities Division as the premier unit for unconventional warfare, both for creating and for combating irregular warfare units. For example, SAD paramilitary officers created and led successful irregular units from the Hmong tribe during the war in Laos in the 1960s, from the Northern Alliance against the Taliban during the war in Afghanistan in 2001, and from the Kurdish Peshmerga against Ansar al-Islam and the forces of Saddam Hussein during the war in Iraq in 2003. Activities and types of conflict included in IWR: insurgency, counterinsurgency, terrorism, counterterrorism, stabilization, security, transition, and reconstruction operations, unconventional warfare, foreign internal defense, civil military operations, military intelligence and counterintelligence activities, transnational criminal activities that support or sustain IW, narco-trafficking, illicit arms trafficking, illegal financial transactions, law enforcement activities focused on countering irregular adversaries, irregular wars. Some conflicts considered to be within the scope of irregular warfare are Afghan Civil War, American Indian Wars, American Revolutionary War, Arab Revolt, Chinese Civil War, Cuban Revolution, First Chechen War, First Sudanese Civil War, Iraq War, Kosovo War, Lebanese Civil War, Portuguese Colonial War, Rwanda Civil War, Second Boer War, Second Chechen War, Second Sudanese Civil War, Somali Civil War, Philippines War, Vietnam War. While sometimes portrayed as an irregular war, the American Revolutionary War was in fact fought by regular forces using regular methods for most of its duration. War games and exercises. There have been at least 2 key military war games and military exercises associated with IW: Unified Action, Unified Quest, Modeling and Simulation. As a result of DoD Directive 3000.07, United States Armed Forces are studying irregular warfare concepts using modeling and simulation. Other definitions. IW is a form of warfare that has as its objective the credibility and/or legitimacy of the relevant political authority with the goal of undermining or supporting that authority. IW favors indirect approaches, though it may employ the full range of military and other capabilities to seek asymmetric approaches in order to erode an adversary's power, influence, and will. IW is defined as a violent struggle among state and non-state actors for legitimacy and influence over the relevant population. IW involves conflicts in which enemy combatants are not regular military forces of nation-states. IW is war among the people, as opposed to industrial war.